Hello everybody, the Nameless Narcissist here once again, a simple man diagnosed with NPD, giving the facts on narcissistic personality disorder and the things that go on in my head. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. But keep in mind, I am no clinician. I can only speak to my own experiences. Alright, so, a lot of you may know that narcissists, like me, have roles for a lot of their friends, right? And I haven't really talked about the specifics of these roles, but there's one that's like really, really important. And honestly, I think that person kind of is the only person who can kind of talk to a narcissist and be like, you got a problem, let's fix it. I'm going to talk about some of the other roles first in my like inner circle, but yes, this majority of this video is probably going to be dedicated to talking about the that person. So I kind of came up with some nicknames to describe these roles. Like there's 5 that I've been able to identify that have been consistent throughout my life. They also, and I'm not sure if these are specific to me or like they're similar roles for other narcissists. I am just using these as examples, honestly. And honestly, if there's a narcissist out there that wants to share some of their roles, I would love to hear them because it'd be interesting. And these are like only the roles that are closest to me in the hierarchy, that is. Like, it gets complicated, but I'll explain a little bit more. There are a lot more roles in this, but like those are like nothing people. That sounds really bad. I am so sorry. But yeah. God, I'm really curious if any other narcissists have like roles that they're going to want to share. That'd be really interesting. And one thing funny is that the one that I think is the most important isn't even the one highest up on the hierarchy. Because the person highest up on the hierarchy can't talk to the narcissist because the narcissist is either intimidated, envious, resentful. Like, there's too many other factors that go into play when it's somebody who they admire. They can't listen to somebody who they admire because there's a bunch of other emotions that they're having towards that person, not healthy ones, by the way, that are dominating their interactions with them. So, anyways, so let me think of some of, like, I identified 5, and which makes sense because I forget what the theory is called, but basically there's a theory that says, like, people can only have 5 close friends and, like, 50 acquaintances and then, like, 500 people they remember. It's a weird law. I have to look into what the actual numbers are, but 5 is the kind of number that I've always had it in my head, like, my inner circle, my council, more or less. I think council is a good way to put it, of my, like, confidants and like lackeys. Like these are the people closest to me. They know the most about me, and they are usually the most aligned to me. So I'll start off with one of the more minor ones, which is the saint, I call it. I have a friend who has occupied this role for a while. I don't remember I think there's people that occupied it beforehand. I don't remember I don't remember though. Basically, this is actually interesting because on the hierarchy, this is the person that is above me, like significantly above me. I hold them in reverence because of their virtue, their generosity. In my instance, this friend is a very devout Catholic and is a very moral person and has always been kind to everybody he's ever seen in his life. I don't think I've ever seen this guy treat somebody with any degree of disrespect. And I envy it to a degree. I don't really resent him. I wouldn't say I resent him at all, but I do envy it. I'm like, I wish I could be that good of a person. But like deep down, I know my nature is like at odds with that. So he's kind of my friend that's like, oh, this is the noble one. He's funny too. That's one of them. There's the role, I call it the pupil, like someone that I feel like I want to mold. Like they're like my protege. I'm like, oh, let me teach you, and this can be, and like this in the past has taken the form of, like not nowadays, and I'm not sure, I think that's just a maturity thing, but in the past, that molding was in the terms of manipulation. It's like, I'm going to teach you how to manipulate people, how to go throughout life, like, easier, and how to use people and stuff like that, which is funny because I don't go through life easier. I can manipulate people. I can manipulate people. I wouldn't say I can manipulate them easier. It's more that I can do it with less remorse, honestly, like looking back on it. And I'm willing to explore more avenues of manipulation. But because and they wouldn't burn bridges, so they ended up better than me. And that role this is one of the roles that has shifted hands infinite amount of times, because then if they start to, because there's a dynamic there. It's like, you're beneath me, you have to be beneath me. If I start feeling like they're trying to be at my level or like independent of me, then they're immediately basically devalued and gotten rid of. It's like and then all I can think is, well, they didn't appreciate me. They didn't appreciate everything I did for them. They're pathetic. They are worth my time. They need to be punished or something like that. Which, it's contradictory, isn't it? Like, they aren't worth my time, but they also need to be punished. I don't know. Another one. So those are two. I had 5 in mind when I started this video, but like it feels like I always forget shit when I go into these. Oh, I don't know what to call this one. I'm just gonna call it the sidekick. That's bad, I know. Like, and I don't mean it in a cruel way. To me, it's just descriptive in my mind of how the narcissist would view somebody like this. The sidekick is, and like and the way I'm about to describe this, you might think, oh, well, that sounds like the most important role. It's not. This is the person the narcissist cares about the most, at least in my case. I didn't respect them, though. This person is basically somebody who wouldn't necessarily, they would not necessarily approve of everything I do, but they'll tolerate everything I do, and they're fiercely loyal, and oftentimes act as a lackey. This is the person the narcissist will be like fucking at the hip with, if this is a consistent thing. This is somebody that's always there, always. And this is the person the narcissist has the most loyalty to and the most care for. This is the person that like will be fucking protected at all costs in their minds. Like, I've only had 2 people, and this is a consistent one too. I've only had 2 people fit this role ever. One of them to this day I perceive of having betrayed me, and I resent them for it consistently, and I can't fucking get over it. I want to. I expected limitless loyalty to me through these people, because I do have limitless loyalty to them. That's one of those groups. By the way, little sidebar. I have very, very rarely dated anybody in these these higher up roles, which is interesting. I would have to think more about why, but it is a thing. And I didn't touch on did I touch on that? The pupil was beneath me, the saint was above me. Yeah, and the sidekick is interesting because he's beneath me, but like right there, like just ever so slightly beneath me. I do value him to the degree that I view him as above everybody else, just not above me. After that is and this is a role that I'm not sure I even had this one filled. This might be more of a recent one, because it's like the person who understands me. Right now, like for a long, this one's tricky, because this is the only role that the narcissist is equal with, right? Or at least as equal as they can, but it's even past equality. It's almost like enmeshment. We're the same person. I'm only focusing on the similarities that we have. Anything that makes you an individual compared to me is thrown out the window. You are only somebody the only thing I can see in you is somebody who relates to me. Only somebody who understands me. I did date one person in this role, if I remember. Yeah. But they didn't. But that's the thing. This role is tricky, because you show anything that shows that any sort of misunderstanding, any sort of not being able to relate to me, then you're out of the role. And I think that's why it was vacant it's been vacant many times, is because nobody can live up to being exactly me. Because hell, I have huge expectations for myself. Of course, I want to have it to my mirror. right? So yeah, then that's that. And then, why does this always happen? Everything, why would you make that noise, computer? Why? You've been quiet all day. It's just now that apparently Razer Cortex wants to send me a fucking notification. Okay, anyways. You guys, like, it's so funny when, like, stuff like that happens. Because if I was alone, I probably would, like, hit my chair and shit. But, like, since I know I have an audience, I'm, like, able to, like, keep that in way better. But anyways, okay. And the final thing, the final, like, group, which I think this person has the most power over a narcissist that anybody else can have. I've heard, and like I've seen, and this is the only one that I'm like, I think this is consistent throughout narcissists. I think this is the only one that like you will see this as a pattern. The other ones, a lot of those are probably me specific or like limited to certain groups of narcissists. But this one I have seen consistently. Now this is the person, and a narcissist will never, I personally think a narcissist will never admit a couple of the details I'm going to tell about this person. But, so you know how borderlines have favorite people, quote unquote? You might not. If you're unaware, people with borderline personality disorder tend to have a favorite person. And this person they rely on for emotional regulation and basically obsess about all the time, right? Now, I saw some talk in some forums of people trying to make a name for the phenomenon I'm about to describe for narcissists, that we have a chosen person, so to speak. Which I don't like the term because I don't think it's accurate to the description. I don't think it's accurate to like what that actually is, but I think it's a downplay on the hierarchy, right? I'm choosing this person. We're putting like the narcissist is putting that trying to put that person beneath them, because this is somebody who, it's not like the saint where like they view him in reverence. It's like right fucking above, to a point that it's like vying for control can be a factor that like haunts that relationship. In my case, the person that I associate this role with is somebody who I was friends with, and they had a significant social group and was like the leader, quote unquote, not the leader, but like had a similar standing in that group that I did in my group. So I didn't view them as a threat because I'm like, okay, we're close to being equals. I feel like the crux of this relationship, honestly, has been me trying to become better than that person, trying to prove that I am better than that person. I don't need them. But the thing is, I do hold them in a lot of admiration, and they're the only person in my life who has ever been able to get through to me. They're the only person I will defer to if I need an opinion on something, and like hell, and the only person I'll listen to if I do ask for an opinion. They're the person that I don't question if they're right or not. And like, don't get me wrong, I will fucking get nasty with them sometimes if I feel insulted. I'll probably get more nasty because that's the thing about being this person. It has like huge pros and cons. The pros being, you are the person that can get this person help. The cons being, you are the most subject to our emotional dysregulation and our need to be like better than you, right? You're going to see things, like that person saw things in me that, and this is the only role that has never changed. That person saw things in me that nobody else ever has. It's the only person I feel like knows me even remotely. And even to this day, I trust their opinion more than mine. And like, in fairness, and the thing is, I say that like they're slightly above me, and that's the majority of the time. Sometimes I'll feel like I'm above them, but that's rare. Like, it's almost like my goal half the time is to prove I'm better than this person. But they are the only person whose judgment I even remotely trust. They're the only person that I actually respect instead of revere or have contempt for. This person it's the only person that it's the only person I can recognize as a separate individual and equal to me. And I cannot tell you how crushing it is when I don't have the approval from them that I want. Like, I want them to admire me. I want them to think I'm doing great things. And that's also part of it, right? They're withholding of that kind of praise. And I wonder if that's part of it too. Is that other people are ready to suck my dick all the time. Sorry for being vulgar. But this person does not. Very withholding when it comes to praise. And so I'm always feeling like I have to earn it. It's almost like it's almost like I projected my parents onto this person. It's funny to think about, honestly. If you are somebody who you believe you're in that kind of position with a narcissist, all I'm going to say is be responsible. Because mine kind of went with it because they aren't exactly right in the head either. And they're not cluster B. I wish they were. But they just kind of went with it and assumed it was their responsibility. First of all, it's not your responsibility, because that's also another thing. You're almost going to be called upon to take care of this person. If anything in their life goes wrong, they're going to go to you. They're going to start ranting. They're going to like be angry. They're going to want you to be angry with them. They're going to want you to feel the injustice that they're feeling. You can do that sometimes, but you're not going to. But like, because it's a lot. It's going to be a lot. Just don't. I'm trying to think of a good way to phrase this. Honestly, just be a good example for them. Give them something to like look up to and to like strive for. Because again, it's going to be a competition to them. You are you're their closest friend, and you're their biggest competition. So I say, and I do think there are some narcissists out there that just don't even have this. They can't even get to that point of connection. But like you have to be responsible in terms of like how you do with that, because this is a very mentally ill person who has a degree of dependency on you. I hate to fucking say that, but yes, a degree of dependency. And you could like, if they can't, like, I'm trying to think of the right way to say it. There's going to be ups and downs in that relationship too. It's just, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I just don't want to like put a message out there of, yes, you have power over this narcissist. Hurt them. Because that's terrible. I'm not the kind of person that wants to perpetuate a cycle of hate. Especially not towards my own. You can help a lot of, like, I will say that you can probably help a lot of people if you go about trying to push them in the right direction. And if you're and like there's going to be times you're going to be frustrated with them. You're not going to be able to fucking like handle their shit. It's going to be exhausting. And that's fair. And you should be able to draw up boundaries. Hell, they might respect you more for drawing up boundaries. I think personally, it's kind of like, that's like a responsibility. It's not your responsibility. Scratch that. But if you choose to engage with that, it's a responsibility. Nah. I mean, you guys are probably the only people that can get through them. Oh well. Hope you all have a great day. Take your fucking meds, please.